Please do. All right, let's talk about him. Aiden Huntington.
What a dude.
Unbelievable. I love stories like this. It's every year you see one around the NFL where some guy comes in and you're like, no chance to make the team. When he was signed as a free agent, it didn't move the meter. We've talked about him one time.
Yeah.
But when you watch him play, you're like, wow, I don't think this guy's supposed to be very good, but he really flashes. He looks like he's really good. I was sent a reel over the weekend of is Baldy, I think, broke down a bunch of his plays. But I love Baldy's breakdowns. He's so
terrific.
Good.
Yep.
But when you watch that, there was one play where his knee was touching the ground. His center of gravity is so low.
Yeah.
His cornering ability is like it's freakish.
Yeah.
And he plays hard. He's got a high motor, and not saying he's going to get a lot of reps, but he's on the team, and this is a huge. You know it's a big deal when before cutdown day, the team makes an announcement that a guy has made the team.
Head coach.
Because they understand what that does to the locker room. And this is one of those stories that you can't help but love, right, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, because I lived it. I've been in that situation before where, you're an undrafted guy and, nobody expects much out of you and you fighting for your life. And it's all about the fact that you could come in there every day and you do something that's like, let me look at some more of that guy. Then you keep going and you build it, and it's like, all right, well, let me see what you do in the game. And you go in the game and you ball, it's like, okay. So then you get the vets, because the vets is the first person that, hey, come on over here. Come on over here. Like, hang out with us. So when you get in that feeling, it's like, okay, I'm really doing something.
Yeah.
And for him to finish the preseason the way he did with the back-to-back sacks, I was like, like it was wonderful, man. Like it made me feel some type of way because like I understand exactly the emotions that he probably felt, and to have the head coach announce it post game, like right there to everybody in the media. Yeah, that guy's making the team. Like, man, you could sleep real good that night, boy. Oh,
yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
The best part about
What was it, Temple?
Tulane, but
Tulane.
he started at Kent State.
Yeah, that's
Then
right.
went to UL Monroe, then went to Tulane. He's
Good
the
Lord.
knock on him coming out was he's undersized for a defensive tackle.
Which he is.
Which he is.
Yeah, that's fair.
However, my introduction to Aiden Huntington was on special teams. He was hands down, by far, unquestionably their best special teams performer throughout the preseason time. When you go back and watch some of the All-22, you see a dude wearing number 66, which is maybe the ugliest number for he's not a gunner, but like a special teams guy running down making tackles.
It's the last guy you expect to make the tackle.
And he's cutting off lanes to the outside, then making his way back inside. He's chasing down on defensive plays, running backs across the field and making sure they get out of bounds. Oh, and then by the way, he's their fullback. He's in on heavy personnel. He plays all three facets for the Browns. And when you're looking at guys on the back end of your roster that have value, this guy's going to be a day one starter on special teams. He might be their starting fullback in heavy personnel. And he's a guy that's going to give you some rotational depth at the interior defensive line, especially until Mike Hall's fully back. You can't ask for anything more. And in fact, he wears 66 is awesome. He actually showed some really nice pass rush moves, too, from the interior. That sack he had against L.A. was a little swim in and out to get to the quarterback before Dresser win. I mean, these are the kind of things you love to see. And I went back and looked. I could be wrong on the exact number. Maybe I missed a guy, but I had 5 undrafted rookies who have made the Browns roster since Andrew Berry took over. And they're going to have 2 this year in Huntington, and I think 84 is going to end up making it too.
Gage Larvadan?
Larvadan, I believe, is going to end up making it too.
I think he is too. When the Tony Brown cut made me believe that he going to make it because Tony Brown was like their special teams ace, the gunner, and I feel like Gage probably made enough plays to be able to make that. So I'll be interested to see if he does.
This is where keeping 4 quarterbacks becomes interesting. It's a numbers game. You tend to have a template for how many safeties you can keep, how many defensive linemen you can keep. When you keep 11 defensive linemen, and I'm sure that's what Schwartz is going to argue for. He loves that rotational depth, keep them fresh in and out. It's really, really hard to keep 4 quarterbacks. However, when you have a guy like this, it makes it a little bit easier because he doesn't fill one role as a starter, maybe special teams, he'll be a starter.
He's definitely starting on special teams.
You don't have the luxury, typically, of carrying 4 quarterbacks or an extra wide receiver or whatever.
Yeah, you
unless
gotta
you got a guy like this who's kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him in a lot of different places. That helps. And again, I don't know that they intend to carry 4 quarterbacks for the entire season. I don't think that's ever been done.
Have they been carrying 5 safeties and 6 corners for the past few years?
I believe they have, yeah.
So they can
But
only
it's 10 D
And you want that.
So
But he's gonna want 11
You don't
D-line.
need 5. You can keep 4 safeties.
Yeah.
And you probably can keep 5.
No, you can, but you'd like to have 5. I
Yeah,
think you'd
well,
like to have 5.
but I'm
You'd
saying,
like to have 100 guys. I
I'm
get
saying,
it. I get it.
I think you make the cut at safety, so you only keep 4, and then at corner you want to have 6, but y'all is there 6 corners?
No.
on it?
No,
Alright,
no.
It's not right now. The other
Because at some point they all become a guy, and if they're just a guy,
I'm sitting there
you
like-
don't have to carry them because you can just go work
Well,
the waiver wire. Or
if you
whatever.
look at the corners, Cam, Genu, and Denzel.
It's lock.
Well, I would say Cam is locked.
Harden's
He
gonna,
is a
Harden's
lock.
gonna be on the team too.
Yeah.
Harden, but
Yep.
you got rid of the special teams ace.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Well, I think another.
I mean, I don't, after that, what do you?
the next person is whoever they get in the waiver wire.
Probably.
Or
Well,
a free
probably,
agent.
yeah.
or yeah, I think he's not on this roster.
But I don't see them keeping 6 is my
but
thing.
another
they only
spot,
gonna get 5.
another spot they could look to make a little adjustment is if Larverdan does make the roster.
I
right?
think he will.
and I believe he will.
think he'll be the
he will.
sixth
I think he's going to make the roster too.
They had DeAndre Carter as essentially a lock as their bona fide return guy. And I know it's your guy, Ty, but do you have to keep Larverdan and DC?
Is Larvadan a returner?
Yes. So I think Carter could be
I don't
a
think you have the
situation.
luxury of keeping both.
Well, and
I don't.
that's my question to maybe that's where the 4th quarterback slot comes from if you're
question
gung-ho on a
is-
cornerback.
This is the question that comes down to between those two. Which one of them can they cut and bring back on practice squad? Which one of them can they cut and think that they will clear waivers?
But here's the thing: if you think they're going to clear waivers, are they any good?
That's fair.
I mean,
So there's probably a bigger pool to select from guys that won't make other teams that you can go and raid once
and they have,
cuts happen.
They have the 2nd waiver wire claim, so they're
Yes.
just like the draft order. They
Yes.
Tennessee's number 1, and then
Well, you can't cut the
Round
guy
number
and
2.
claim your own guy.
no, I'm just saying when they're looking at other teams.
Oh
after the
yeah.
cuts get
Oh yeah.
made,
No, they gonna get.
they're going to definitely pick up.
They'll
Definitely
find
pick
some
up a
talent.
cornerback.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
There always is, because they always say it's not just the 90 guys you have here in camp. It's all the other guys, 40 almost from every team that's going to be out of work. There's talent out there that will be released. The thing I love about this kid is,
Huntington.
yeah, what I love about him is we've talked about before how when the Rams gave away so much draft capital, usually a couple things happen. First of all, you don't always get the mother lode. You don't always win the Super Bowl when you make the Super Bowl trade.
Yeah.
They did. The other thing that has to happen for you to stay at the upper half of the talent cycle, you have to draft and sign at an incredible level. When you find a Puka Nacua in the 3rd round and Willers Williams, 5th
They're
or 6th.
both 5th rounds.
Okay, 5th rounds. Like I thought, okay.
Kyron Williams went in the 5th round.
I thought
I'll
Nacua
double
went
check.
earlier.
No, Nacua was
Okay,
definitely
well,
5th. I'll double check on.
I mean,
I
that-
think Kyron was 3rd.
so that's how you do this. And Andrew Berry has drafted guys that 1 year later, 2 years later have not worked out. We knew that. We knew in about 12 seconds that Anthony Schwartz was not an NFL wide receiver because he was a 3rd round pick. He got time and time again. He got tries. Eventually, you cut ties with them. When you find a guy like this, a diamond in the rough, it buys you a little equity with the fans.
yeah, Kyron 5th round pick.
It's incredible.
That's crazy.
And where was Nacua? Was Nacua also
I'm
a 3rd round?
99% sure. I'll
God,
double
I thought
check.
Nacua was a 3rd round.
I thought one of them was a 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, if they both went in the 5th round,
We
that's the
stink.
mother load of all
5th,
drafts.
5th round. Yep, both 5th rounders.
2 5th round
Two
picks.
5th rounders, yeah.
And they're not just good; they didn't make your team. They're Pro
They're,
Bowlers.
they're legit good.
Like, okay,
How
so
did they
we need
pull
some of
that?
those.
They got
That's
them.
why Andrew Berry. Probably nobody happier than Andrew Berry about this. He probably told Kevin after the game, announce he's making the team. Tell him. I found him.
Well, so
That's
if Larverdan does make it, that will give him 2 undrafted free agents that
Yeah.
make the team. It'll be the 2nd time in 6 years.
if
that
he
2
doesn't tie, why
undrafted-
wouldn't he make it?
Why wouldn't he make it?
Yeah.
Because they probably think they can get him back on P squad.
Oh, okay. So, like,
and if you're on
his
P
game-
squad, you
his
can-
game is good enough to make the an NFL roster.
I believe so.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things I really
Yeah.
liked too.
I mean, he's a developmental guy.
Sure,
it's not
but-
like he's gonna come in and be your wide
That's
receiver
what the
too.
Browns do. We develop guys.
You need
It
to
should
stop.
work out
you
fine.
Need to stop.
It should be
They gotta
fine.
listen. They gotta change the narrative in some way.
Yeah. It's really hard to do it twice because they changed it once a couple years ago. And now they're right back in that same hole. So you got to
If they draft picks do what they supposed to do,
you could be fine.
yeah.
Were you surprised real quick by any of the other roster cuts yesterday of the
No,
initial round?
nothing they did yesterday
Yeah,
surprised me
okay.
one bit. I wanted to ask you this while we have you here. And, now it's hindsight's 2020, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Travion Henderson before the draft. I thought he was better than Judkin. I thought he was going to have a better NFL career. He may not.
Mm-hmm.
But what we know so far, it's impossible to say that they got that right. Because Travion Henderson has done everything and more that you would have wanted him to do.
Right.
His first NFL touch went 100. I didn't see that coming.
I mean, you knew he was fast.
I knew he was fast, but I mean, come on.
I didn't know he was a returner.
You remember Michael Wiley?
Yeah.
Okay, so before your time, but
Yeah.
I was covering the Buckeyes there. Their first game of the year, his first college football game. I think he touched the ball 4 times and scored 3 touchdowns. Opening kickoff, touchdown. First pass, 80-yarder, touchdown. It was incredible. And, you just don't expect that a guy's going to come in and make that kind of a splash.
Yeah.
Henderson has been that guy
I mean,
in New England.
we knew that he was fast. We knew he was explosive. So,
Yeah.
like, that doesn't shock me. I still
Do
understand.
you think they got it right, though, with the talent overall? Judkin's still the better draft pick?
he fits more what they want to do.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
the
I agree with that.
only knock on Travion is that can he physically take that?
That's what I was
Like,
worried about, too.
He didn't do it in college. He got
No.
knocked out.
He was hurt a
2
lot.
seasons.
Yeah,
2
he was
seasons
hurt
in
a
a row.
lot.
He didn't make it. So
Yeah.
I think the Browns looked at it as we need us an every down back.
Yeah.
The physical guy. Because the home run hitter, whether you like it or not, they look at Jerome Ford as that. Whether you believe it or agree with it or not, he does make
They
the
did great
explosive
with the
plays.
Guardians home run lineup.
Just saying.